Hi folks, and welcome to the Filmomic channel, and in the woods again. It's really finally spring and it's really lovely out here, and today I wanted to show you a knife again since I think you all are looking forward to more sharp and pointy objects. And actually, this is a knife I find a little bit hilarious because it is called the Manly Patriot. Because the corporation is Manly. Well, it's really called that way. Look at that. And this is a corporation that is based in Bulgaria, and the knives are distributed by Birker Solingen. And I haven't been too fond of Birker lately because of their policies, and also, there are better knives usually for the things I do than the ones they tend to market at the moment. But on the other hand, I think I had to get my head around this one here, and it's been with me for quite some time now, and I haven't used it a lot, but because I needed to get my head around the steel, because the steel is 1.2379, which translates to a D2 in imperialist money. What D2 is a steel that had been originally developed for tools, but not the tools you think, not for cutting tools, but for stamps and for the hammers, of power hammers and stuff like that, and molds where you could forge something into the mold and have the shape, and for that it is pretty well suited. And normally it is really edge resistant, but it doesn't normally it doesn't take a fine grain, and there's an old saying about 1.2379, it gives a lousy edge but holds it forever, and that's true. Normally you couldn't, or back in the day you couldn't give D2 fine edge, and you needed a really blunt angle, I think, and in order to give it the edge resilience the steel was developed for. Now the times they are changing, and science walks on, and there have been some developments in heat treatment lately, what with the more wider availability of cryo treatment, and also the steel is smelted in a finer way or something. Don't quote me on that, because this is just a feeling I have. It's just with induction ovens and stuff, this might lend itself to a finer grain overall. I don't know that, and please correct me if I'm talking bullshit. But what I can safely say is that this is a knife that I would not have expected to be possible with D2, and because the thickness above the edge is just 0.3 millimeters, and that's about as much as a Swiss Army knife, and this is what lends itself to really great ability of cutting through things. And when I take now, I get this piece of hazel that was lying around here, and I think it's pretty dry, and oh well, it's not dry, not altogether dry, still a little bit green, but I think you get the gist. That's a real slicer, and it's also pretty powerful with an Enderman or chest cat, and the edge resilience is pretty great, and it is. I think that someone's got their heat treatment wired, and I think I want to debark a little mushroom for the ultimate test, because you get few materials that are harder on an edge, and by the way, this is an artist's conch, and if I were to take my knife now, I could don't know, you can see this, obviously not, because it's, don't know what happened, maybe because I really put some pressure already on it. Normally you could write on the underside of an artist's conch, which means they were used for sketching back in the day, and I'm using the knife for removing the gray matter on top, and happens all the time on YouTube that someone uses a blade to remove the gray matter. Honestly, I'm really it's really a laughing stock. I think that someone calls his knives manly, and I think that's something that pretty much shows what's wrong in the community, and because a knife should cut, and that's about it. It's a tool. It's something that doesn't have anything to do with being manly or what have you, but it's just a tool. It needs to cut, and that's about it. And in the Bronze Age and in the Iron Age, often there were phallic symbols drawn on the swords, or even on the knives, and but folks, well, there was this moon mission, and on top of that, we also have nukes, and well, actually, someone calls a nuke a fat boy for a reason, not because it reminds them of their son or their little baby or what have you. And I think you get my meaning. And we should stop that. We should stop thinking with our genitals. And a knife is an awesome tool, and you can process food with it. You can do a lot of awesome things with it, and you can do some things that are not awesome at all. And I think that has something to do with people. Well, how to put that? We all have a big ego, and we need to, because this is our society requires us to always be the best there is, and the next big thing, and the fastest, the coolest, and what have you. I'm not cool. I'm just an old fart ranting on YouTube about how the times are changing now. If they were, I would be glad, because they need to change. Well, but rant over and out. The knife is pretty slicey for stuff like this. If you look at that, you can see me make really fine cuts, and this is why a conch is a really great material to test a knife on, because you can test everything, and the knife still stops on my fingernail, meaning it hasn't lost any sharpness at all. And the bark of a tinder conch is really tough because it contains abrasive substances. For instance, if you look at the birch polypore, which has also been called razor strop. Well, it has been called razor strop for a reason, because you could strop razor on it, and that's not to say that is really an abrasive material, but it contains silicates that lend themselves to some polishing properties, and and you can, if you can see this, I don't know if the voice works out, just put a little bit of spit on it, and then I'm using the conch, to remove the stripes, and it obviously requires a little bit of force. You can see it's these stripes from the material are actually pretty tough, and you need to find a piece of the conch that's the best for that, and most of the time it is the porous underside. We'll keep it. I will leave it at that. The blade is just short of 100 millimeters long, like that. Some 90 millimeters or something, which is a great thing for hunting. It gives you a great tip control, and Honestly, this loosely follows the shape of a hunting knife. So personally, I do think that there are better shapes for woodworking. So if most of the stuff you are doing in the woods are woodworking, I think there are better knives for. Well, now you can feel the burr a little bit. No harm done. You could strap that back all right, and maybe we can use the underside of the conch for that, like so. Put it on top of that, of the conch, and strap the burr back into the middle. So, like that. Back again, and like that, and know your resources is what I want to say. The conch is also great for tea, by the way, and I will take that home. So there's not that I'm just mutilating some artist conchs just for the root of it. The blade has a center of balance on the index finger, which makes for a really pretty light, dexterous feeling. Also, there's only just this little knob here to keep your hand from sliding on the blade, which to me it's not. To me, it's a hindrance if there's big guard, because most of the things I'm doing is traditional bushcraft and woodworking and foraging, and for that this is perfectly okay. It is the scales are made from Guyacan ebony and have a lovely grain. I don't know if you can see this, almost like really great desert ironwood. The knife is also available with scales of desert ironwood and with different steels. CPM 145 is one of them, and I think S30V or something even, and there are bigger models. There's the Manly Crafter. I will introduce you to that in another video. But actually I really like this knife because I'm tending more and more towards more compact carries. The Kydex sheath is, I don't like Kydex sheaths, but it keeps the blade in pretty well. There is this thingy here I think it's made for neck carry or for securing your knife if you put it on a model or something. The clip is the Böker Plus belt clip. The tension is pretty great. It is adjustable to the width of your belt. Well, nice feature, a little bit like a Lego set. What I strongly can recommend is that you, because you see there are two different screws on the clip, because I lost the knife. The screws with the standard setup just came off. And I put some blue Loctite in, and the problem was solved. Or you can also use some glue and glue them back in, because, well, if you have adjusted it once, I don't think you constantly change your setup. It can also be a nice pocket fixed, which rides in your pocket rather unsuspiciously. If you see that, where's my knife? Oh, well, there it is. And thing is, not that I would recommend you do concealed carry stunts in public, not in Germany, because this will most certainly earn you trouble. The Kydex sheath could be modified if you if you were to drill a tiny hole here, and you could put a little lock there, so you would be halfway safe, even in weapon restriction zones, if you keep it as inaccessible as possible, which means in your backpack. But on the other hand, well, if you put it in your backpack anyway, maybe you could also lock your backpack and don't spare yourself the fuss of drilling something into it. Well, it's also, the D2 version is also halfway a bargain. It's I think it's about 80 euros or 70 euros or something, and you get a pretty great quality for the money. Oh, by the way, in the handle there are these huge well, hollow rivets, or what's it called? You could use those to mount the knife on a stick. If you were, for instance, if you were to come across Subchaga and it's just up there, and you could tie some paracord on a stick and fix the knife to the stick in order to get to the chaga. And well, that's a really neat little package. It's also the quality is outstanding. It's really something that's really nice. The concept is great. The spine, by the way, works with a fire steel. It's nice and slicey. But it's also not flimsy. There's half a sensible thickness to the spine, and this will also make a nice hiking knife, because it's also pretty light. Well, don't get me started on the Mora and Victorinox thing. There are people who want or need other knives, and well, I'm actually amongst them, because I bought it, and I actually, well, honestly, I don't carry it much, because, well, it's not a woodworking knife, and most of the stuff I'm doing at the moment is woodworking. It works for woodworking, that's not what I'm saying, but there are better knives. I'm loving my Svantiger for Moras for that purpose, because they are dedicated whittling knives, so it's small wonder. This is a bushcraft knife. It is suited for a lot of tasks, and you've seen me using it for wood, and it pretty much can be done. What's a little bit of a hindrance is the jimpings, and they are pretty sharp, and which is a great thing if you are so inclined. But it could cause hot spots if you were to carve for hours on end. And the thing is, if you're looking for the one knife to get started with bushcrafting, or well, how to put that without being the wet blanket again, I would say if you enjoy the lines of this knife, and if you are looking for a fixed blade knife and something that's not Mora, maybe this is something to look into. It's a great knife. It's really slicey, really good. Maybe you can get the version in a CPM 154, which is stainless. This will get some patina eventually, and this is a knife you want. It's not the knife you need. The knife you need for bushcraft is a Vic and maybe a Mora. But well, that's like wet blanket. There's also something like just enjoying having a nice knife and not necessarily some Mora Robust companion or Omberg or Riesberg or what have you, or a woodworking knife, which also is a little bit prosaic. If you're enjoying this little techy ambience about this knife, without sacrificing too much of beautiful scales, and actually you see these are pretty resilient to the Kydex too. The Kydex isn't in any way, there's no liner in it, no leather liner or something, but they pretty much can't stand the friction of the Kydex, and the Kydex also has this, you see this knob, tab, which neatly slips into the recession of the hollow rivet. So if you get the money and if you want it, then buy it. That's what I can say, apart from the name, which is hilarious, well, overall, nice little package for mild patterning. Even you can use it for a lot of tasks, food processing. Great in the kitchen, by the way. Makes really short terms with onion slices and stuff, and the sheath rides on your belt pretty high, which is a good thing as well as a bad. You can put your shirt over it. It's also pretty flat, so you don't freak people out, and that's the reason why I advocate you don't carry your knife in the open like that, because even that can be something, and I don't like to wear this under my shirt, so off it goes, even though this is a pretty tiny blade. Just want to say, this is a nice knife for hiking, for snacking, for food prepping, for a lot of tasks, even whittling a stick or mild woodworking or stuff. It will do the job. If you are into spoon carving, if you are into creating things in the forest or something, well, there's actually no reason that you buy a bushcraft knife, because a bushcraft knife is something that wants to do everything at once, and if you want to do everything at once, and maybe you can relate to that when you're working in a kitchen or something, and you want to do everything at once, well, you are most of the time you're in for a problem. So that's not going to work. So if you expect this to excel at detail carving or spoon carving or cooksor carving or creating containers or what have you, if you get a small diameter branch and you want to drill with a tip, well, the tip isn't too pointy. It's not that it's broad thingy or what have you. It is possible to drill with the tip. It's not what I'm saying. But it's also not really slender. It's something that caters to a lot of stuff, including hunting tasks, and for that it really excels. It's also, I think, I'm not a hunter, but I would say the blade shape is pretty well suited for hunting, and I've used it in the kitchen for deboning, for cutting slices of meat or what have you, and even preparing carrots or something. Is a cinch because of the thin and slicey blade. So if you know what you're doing is what I want to say, and if you really know what you want, and wood carving is not it, then get it. No reason you shouldn't, because it's great value for money. Overall, a nice package, and there are absolutely no flaws in the craftsmanship, and the heat treatment is spot on. I haven't been an advocate for D2, and you see me use a D2 blade, and so, you know, a little bit difficult to give you advice, because you need to know what you want to do with your knife. And if you complement this with a Victorinox Ranger or a little pocket knife, you'd be well suited for a lot of tasks, and even wood carving. But on the other hand, if you mainly, and this is what happens to me all the time, I carry a fixed blade and my Vic, and I end up using my Vic, and then you can ask yourself, where's the point of using a fixed blade, carrying a fixed blade knife? But that's the wet blanket. If you enjoy that, if you need maybe for more robust tasks, when camping, mild wood splitting, you know my stance on that. Well, so that said, I hope that was halfway helpful. I hope you enjoyed the video and you enjoyed the knife. I don't know. I don't think you can get it in America anymore, but you can as well try. In Europe, it is distributed via Böker, and well, as I said, time was when I wholeheartedly supported Böker, and but no, I'm no longer really sure what game they are playing at the moment, and you know, so, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about whether this knife can do the stuff you expect from it or not, and so we still have a free society, and so you might want to get it if you want. If not, don't buy it. Is what I want to say. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you get out in the forest and enjoy the lovely sun. And stay sane and healthy as usual. And always be manly and patriotic. That said, hope to see you soon. Bye.